Yes.
Okay, we're back on this motor again. So we have some issues we got to figure out right now. So the old valve covers have dimples where they got hit by the rock arms. And so this is where we come up to full lift and hit. And we need to determine if that's going to be a problem on this motor. This is our highest rock arm is right here. So this is our #1 cylinder check. And if we're going to hit the valve cover, we're going to have to figure out what to do to fix it. So right now we have the S&S lifters in here that are, we have an extra 2 turns of clearance in them. So we have to take these all back out and get rid of that 2 turns of extra clearance so we can check these. Yeah, it stayed on there. That's good. So I get to redo all this again. That's fun. And we left off on which cylinder? This one here last?
Yes.
I think we turned the motor over. I turned the motor over.
Yeah, you did actually, yeah.
So I don't know where we're at right now. So, which cylinder are we on? Get this breather over here in my way. I can tell she's going to make me bleed. Sure, my hand's going to hit it. This did come off here, didn't it?
It's not going on?
There it goes. He didn't want to go back. The rear one's up right now. So let's see if the push rods are moving or these ones are moving. These ones are moving.
Mm-hmm.
So that means this one's top dead center over here. Alright. So help us out. So we got jammed this thing up in here. So push in as you tighten. Okay, we're solid right there. Give it a 1/4 turn extra. That's going to give us a little extra lift, which would be our clearance. Plus, we know it's bottomed out for sure. There's no doubt about it. We're not guessing. Okay, where's this now? Pretty good at that anyway.
Yeah, you are.
Ooh, that one did not like it. There it goes. Oh, that one, the cork stayed down there. Where'd that go? I'm looking for it.
I know.
It's disappeared. What happened to it? There's 0. A little extra. Okay, so now that's going to go up to full lift. Okay, now we watch our push rods go. This one's going down. I'm turning the motor over backwards now, so they're under a reverse compression stroke. So there's that one coming up. It's all the way up.
We have to go backwards anyway because we have oil in it. So pump out, right?
That's why you got backwards. Yeah, but we didn't tell anybody why we're doing that. So why are we doing that?
So we don't pump oil out
Why would it pump oil out?
because there's oil in it.
Oil where?
In the case.
So we have a bunch of oil. We get like a pint of oil or a pint and a half inside the flywheel cavity. If you turn the motor over forward, it pumps out of the cavity, blows over here, and it'll start pumping out of here. If you turn them over backwards, the oil will stay over there. And when you go to start the bike up, the oil will be there to lubricate the motor when you start it initially. That's why we're turning the motor over backwards as much as we can. I can't hold it back anymore, so if I can't hold it, it must be tight. Okay, this one. Where's this damn flat at? Way over there. I think this was the worst one, right? Or was it this one? Yeah, either one. Full of oil, I can't hold it. Tight. All right. So, this is our clearance right now, is our gasket. Take that out. Take that one out. They're glued in, aren't they? Nope.
That one is.
Okay. So it's sitting flat. Doesn't appear to be hitting right now. Okay, where'd my black tape go? So my race bike, this is how I check clearances for piston to head clearance. You put the motor together, and you put 2 layers of tape on your piston. And if it only lightly squashes it, we're golden.
Just how many thousands is that? 2 layers.
So somewhere between 1 and 2
Right.
is what we run for clearance. Piston to head clearance.
Wow. Maximum compression.
That's the appropriate clearance that you need to run on a race bike at 8,300 RPM. Then after you run the bike, and you look inside the header for the impact marks, if there's any, and if there is, you lightly sand the head away, not the piston. Because the piston you replace every run, the head you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Is there much discrepancy in heads? Sorry, pistons?
Well, they're pretty accurate how they're made these days. So that's how close you run things. So for a street bike, it should be plenty, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now we're going to assume it's going to hit on the tip,
Mm-hmm.
not over here.
Yeah.
So let me tape the top. Now you can put some silly putty on there and actually measure how much clearance you really have, but when it really comes down to, I don't really care how much I have as long as I have enough. I don't care if I have an extra 2 thou or 200 thou, it doesn't matter.
Right, clearance is clearance.
As long as I got the clearance, that's all I care about. Okay, so those are all taped up for adequate clearances. Seems to be fine. Where's my ratchet at? So we'll go ahead and spin these down, a few of these here down, just to make sure they're tight. So we're going to do each corner. And we're going to do the middle of the cover also. So every other bolt is tight. Once again, there's no gasket. We have tape. And we also have a little extra lift built into the system because of we got the screw tight.
Mm-hmm.
So we got lots of extra clearance. And even if the tape hits a little bit,
We should still be okay.
we still got a lot of clearance. This we haven't turned over yet. This is going to be our hardest one here, so I'll go ahead and leave a little clearance here so if it hits, it'll lift the cover up a little bit and see it. If we're going to hit, it's going to be this one. We'll see that happen. This one's tight. Okay, so.
There we go.
No problem on that one.
Definitely.
You'll actually feel it too if it hits. It's got nothing over there. This one we have a problem. It's on both. The intake hit also. A little bit thicker than that. And that is double.
Yeah, it's hard there.
That's about 80 thou right there, right now. So we have options. What are we gonna do about this? This one here is probably fine. Not seeing anything wrong with that side. This one over here, both valves are hitting. The first one is probably about 0 after you put the gasket and take out the extra clearance. We're probably about 0. Remember, we still got tape on there too. It probably just has clearance. It's probably right at the limit. Okay, this one over here, we're going to hit no matter what it's going to hit.
Yeah.
So we can either dimple the cover a little bit right here and get a little extra clearance and call it done. Or we're going to have to go to put those thick James gaskets in there. Jack the covers way up. So that's your options.
I like the latter.
The big hammer part?
No.
Oh.
The thicker gasket.
Oh, I like the hammer part.
Yeah, I know you do. Any excuse to get the hammer out.
You didn't see the 65 I did? Big dents in there. So that was frame clearance, Dan. Say we're going down.
Oh, right.
It went the other way. It went down. All right, so you think you want to maybe put a thicker gasket in here, not beat the tar out of it with a big hammer?
Preferably.
I don't know why you want to go that way. There's no reason for that. Beat on with a big hammer. You're fine. So if you wanted to know what it is right now, you just take a hammer and hit it right here a couple times.
And see where it's at.
You'll see a dimple, and then just take your ball peen in there, stick it on the cover, and hit another hammer here, and it'll dimple it up right that one little spot. And you have your clearance. You're not talking a lot of clearance. It's real close. But you will see it in the cover.
Right.
And on the gas tank, you can see this a little bit back here, but I'm not sure you can see the top of the lid, but you can definitely see this whole side, so I'm not sure how much you really see it there. This you won't see up in this area, but it'll be close. So you might see a slight dimple maybe. It would probably flake the chrome. I'm sure these have really good chrome on them. Now, it would have self-clearanced by riding too.
Yeah.
Might have made a little tapping noise for a while. Now, I wonder if it's hitting on the gasket.
See that mark there? Oh, you think it's hitting on this?
I don't think so. I think it's hitting on the... No, I don't think it's hitting on the gasket, because the gasket's inside the area. It'll be hitting right next to the gasket.
Yeah.
It'll be right here. So I'm guessing it's hitting probably right there, would be my guess. You can also take a grinder and grind the big turd off right there. It's pretty obvious how it needs to be ground. It needs to be ground at an angle like that, right there. And that would give you your clearance also. It's just a matter how thick is that area on the rocker.
Right.
That's the key, you don't know. There's obviously an oil hole right there where they drilled through, so. So these are other areas that can be possibly looked at. It's not hitting on a weld. It's hitting right on that dimple on top. That one didn't even leave a mark. So we can also grind that right there too a little bit if you want. So.
Yeah, you can touch that.
So you want to do now? You want to play a little bit, or you want to still put the gaskets in there?
I think the gaskets in
How much frame clearance do you have on your frame?
a little bit. Should have enough for the thicker gaskets.
They get tight.
How thick are they?
Well, I know. Do you have this in the bike yet?
Yeah.
They're a lot thicker. They're 3/16 thick versus 32nd. So then we have, well, we had some gaskets out, but that's before we moved. Let's go find me some gaskets. Yeah, they're not sitting here. See, here I got the paper gaskets, which is, so you got thin paper, you got thick papers. So if you put thick paper in there, you get clearances too, but we don't want to use paper. That's the old way of doing shit. We want good stuff. Alright, let me go find some gaskets. We'll be back.
It's kind of hard to tell, but